Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I've been on. I have been on social media, but just trying to kind of watch how much time I spend on there. I've been posting things, but I kind of get on and get off or delete or whatever I need to do to kind of keep my sanity these days. I know you guys can relate. So I have been just processing all that's happened in these past couple of weeks, and I'm not going to get too far down into the weeds, but I just want to share something with you and encourage you to grow in your spiritual walk, but also to help others grow as well. You know, since I was saved at the age of 19, the mission has never changed. The gospel's never changed because we serve an unchanging God. So the mission has always been the same according to Matthew 28, that we're to be going out and making disciples as believers of Jesus Christ. We're not to keep his goodness and his light and his gospel and the word of salvation. We're not to be keeping those things holed up in our hearts and not sharing those with others. And the greatest example of that was Jesus. I mean, was a perfect being, a perfect man who walked the earth, but here he was modeling for us how to witness to people, how to go to places like Samaria and seek the lost, because we know that's why he came here, was to seek and save those which were lost. But he also discipled others, and that's what I love about him. We're able to see that just in the way his disciples followed after him, and he walked with those guys and he talked with those guys, and he didn't just see them, just off because they were saved or just have nothing to do with them because they reached that point of salvation, but he continued growing them in their spiritual walk. And I just think that's just the epitome of what we should be as Christians. So I encourage you today not to compare yourself to someone else in their walk, but to look at you and where are you at in your spiritual walk with Jesus? What do you need to do to move forward, to keep going, to keep pressing on? Maybe it's talking to a neighbor about Jesus, or maybe it's talking to a coworker about Jesus. Maybe it's just starting with prayer. Maybe that's where you need to start if you do not have a good, solid prayer life, and praying that God would open up opportunities for you to witness to others or for you to shine a light in a dark place. Oftentimes people kind of comment even about platforms that God has given me the ability to speak on, or even just doing videos like this. But I encourage you again that you don't have to try to be me or be anybody else out there in the public eye. You don't have to be on Facebook just to share the goodness of God. It really starts first off in the home. The first place you should be discipling is your children. And if you're a wife to a husband, I encourage you to be praying for your husband, because they really struggle and the enemy is always attacking our men. And if you're the husband of a wife, I encourage you to be praying for your wife. So discipleship starts in the house. I always said, as a teacher and as an educator, I could just dream of the day when every child would hear about Jesus in their homes. My job would have been so much easier. I would have spent a lot less time counseling and coaching and really raising a lot of these kids if they had just been taught the gospel and the word of Christ within those four walls. So that's step one, is to take care of your family in that light, and to be praying for them, and to be encouraging Bible study throughout your house, and just listening to your kids, because our kids are just under a lot of pressure. But step two, once you have that accomplished, is to go out, like I said earlier, and start sharing the gospel with people in your neighborhood or people that you work with. And it could just be something as simple as, how can I pray for you today? So I want to challenge you. I'm writing a new book, and it's going to have some challenges listed in it, but I want to challenge you today. I just want you to stop one person and ask, how can I pray for you today? And I almost guarantee you that nobody will laugh at you. Nobody will put you down. Nobody will shun you in any way, but they will give you a way for them to pray for them. And if you feel so led, stop and pray right then with that person. But if that feels uncomfortable to you, then go write that name on your phone or jot that name in your notes section somewhere. But make it a point. Ask God to lay that name on your heart every day this week and be in prayer for that person. So just know we can all reach people for the gospel of Jesus Christ if we all just started with one. If we just focused on one person who we know is lost or we know needs to grow in their spiritual walk, maybe they're saved, but they're just so far from God, they just can't even see him right now. If we just started with that one person, just imagine how our world would change and how it would be such a better place, because we are out there sharing the love of Christ and sharing his goodness and his grace. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'd love to hear back from you if something that I said worked today.